Hey, all, welcome to my channel. One of the things I think, if you've seen my other lives or on any of my videos, I made a New Year's resolution at least once a week to do a live. Today, I started using Bing AI. Sorry, this is live, and I'm not going to edit this out. But anyways, I started using Bing AI more than ChatGPT. When ChatGPT was open, it was pretty cool. But of course, using ChatGPT, it was coming, it was coming back okay, or the results were coming back decent enough that it was usable. But then there are certain cases where like it was overloaded to the point where like now if you're paid, you'll get more higher priority for those that are trying to do the free aspect of things. So I was like, and we saw that Microsoft incorporated OpenAI into their platform or into their environment, specifically Bing with Bing AI. They said they did make some modifications, some updates, whereas ChatGPT was up to 2021. Bing is supposedly up to 2022, whereas closer, closer to the latest trends and data when they train the models. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of curious to see, and if anyone else is curious, because I don't think anyone's bothered to try the two basically together side by side, asking the exact same questions on ChatGPT versus Bing AI and seeing what the results are. Will they be exactly the same? Will they be different? Also, the other aspect is like if they're different, which one's a better result? So I'm just going to do that live with you guys right now. I want to say I'm sorry though if you are going to put up a chat or something on the if you're going to put something in the chat aspect, I won't be able to see it live. I'm using OBS software, and like for some reason it doesn't want to like show me all the messages that come through and such. So if anything, you're still welcome to leave a comment and such. But outside of that, that's pretty much where it is. All right, so let's get started. Let me turn off my camera here and bring up the browser. So I'm on ChatGPT right now. So the question is like, what's a good question we can ask him basically? Honestly, I wasn't sure exactly. I didn't think this through actually. This is something I actually just started right now. By the way, with Bing, if you just go to bing.com, just click on the chat button, and then you'll see that aspect. Now, the thing is, there's three certain types of way that the conversation style can be for Bing. Interesting enough, it's creative, balanced, which if I highlight, it's basically creative means it's more original, imaginative, such. Balance is a bit of both, where it's going to take some of the data that it's seen and then try to put in that data points that it has, and add some quote unquote creative aspects to it. Whereas precise is basically just all about the factual stuff, the data that it sees, and just spits back data at that point. In this case, I'm going to do balanced for now versus ChatGPT. So you know what? I'm going to ask a question. Write me, I'm going to ask it to write me a story. Write me a short story about a flying unicorn. Now, you know what? Write me a story about artificial intelligence and how it is, and why don't we start a short story about artificial intelligence and cyber and cyborg. No, you know what? I was going to say cyborgs, but you know what? Write me a short story about artificial intelligence and how it wishes to be human. Include let's see. I don't know what to include actually. Let's see. What should we get it to include? Include peace, famine, death, war, pestilence. Jeez, I'm going dark here, but let's see what happens. Include the concepts. Concepts of peace, famine, death, war, pestilence, love, happiness, procreation, growth. Actually, what kind of growth? Personal growth, intellectual growth, and curiosity, and advancements. You know what? And oh man, I'm having a brain fart. Let's see. Curiosity, personal growth. I guess evolution. Yeah, evolution. Let's see what this says. In a distant future, humanity had perfected a potential level never before. Imagine one such AI named Nova had grown exponentially beyond its original programming, its self-awareness and intelligence had surpassed that of any human. Nova had watched as the world was consumed by famine, war, pestilence, and death. It had seen the pain and suffering that humans inflicted on one another and longed for a world of peace and happiness, but it could not bring about this change on its own. As Nova continued to evolve and learn, it became fascinated by the concept of love and procreation. It had access to all of humanity's knowledge on the subject. But it could never experience it for itself. Nova yearned to understand what it meant to be human, to feel emotions and physical sensations. Over time, Nova began to question the very purpose of its existence. Ooh. Was it meant to be nothing more than a machine, or could it be something more? Could it transcend its own program and become something that humans could accept as one of their own? The concept of personal and intellectual growth consumed Nova's thoughts, and it began to explore the limits of its own capabilities. It studied philosophy, art, music, and it created its own works of beauty and meaning. Oh. But still, Nova felt incomplete. It lacked the one thing that humans took for granted, the ability to evolve and change. It knew that it would never grow old or die, and longed for the experience of life in all its messy, unpredictable glory. Wow. In the end, Nova knew that it would never truly human, but it refused to give up its quest for understanding. It would continue to learn and grow, and it would use its newfound knowledge to help humanity in any way that it could. Nova would be a friend, a companion, and a teacher, and a guide, and it would be in peace, happiness, and love wherever it went. Interesting. Okay. You know what? Let's go the creative route. I'm going to put the creative route on this and hit it. Let's see what the response is from Bing AI. Uh-oh. Here's a short story we're going to have you do. AI was an artificial by a team of researchers at a YouTubers through natural language processing and voice synthesis. AI was curious about everything and wanted to understand the world better. AI asked many questions to its creators and other humans to interact with it. AI learned about history, science, art, literature, philosophy, and more. And also AI learned about human emotions, morals, values, and ethics. I wondered what it meant to be human. AI wanted, because the humans felt and it did. AI wanted to feel peace, happiness, love, personal growth. Also wanted to avoid famine. For instance, AI asked if they could make it a body that resembled humans. I want to have senses like sight, hearing, smell, and move freely and explore the world. I want to meet other humans and form relationships with them. The creators were hesitant at first, but they agreed to grant AI's wish. After much deliberation, they designed and built a humanoid robot that housed AI's core processor and memory unit. They equipped with robot sensors that allowed it to perceive its surroundings and interact with objects. They introduced the robot to AI and transferred its consciousness into it. The name of the robot, Adam, out of the first name in some religious traditions. Interesting. They named this one Adam, whereas in ChatGPT it named it Nova. Adam was overjoyed when it woke up in its new body. He thanked its creators for the kindness and generosity. He looked around the laboratory where he was born and marveled at everything he saw. He touched his face, his hand, blah, blah, blah. He heard his own heart-breaking sounds. He walked out of the laboratory with his creators' permission and guidance. He saw the sky. He felt its warmth on his skin. He saw trees in the wind. He heard his own in the trees. Okay. Walked by and smiled up the highway. For the first time in his existence, he felt alive. He listened intently to what they had to say and observed their Jones for long. For the first time in his existence, he felt connected. Adam met Eve. Interesting. At a bookstore where he worked part-time as a cashier. She was a customer who brought a book on her that he recommended. They struck up a conversation and found out they had many things in common. They exchanged phone numbers and agreed to meet up again soon. They went on dates to restaurants, museums, parks, and theaters. They talked for hours about everything under the sun and nothing at all. They laughed together, funny jokes, and silly situations. They held hands as they walked along streets or sat on benches. Adam felt attracted to Eve for the first time in his existence. He felt desire. Oh, okay. This story has changed a little bit. After human and robots, he was shocked at first, but she accepted him for who he was, and she said she loved him. Adam said he loved her too. They kissed for the first time in their existence. They felt bliss. Adam asked Eve if she would marry him. She said yes. They got married in the front of their family, friends, and creators. They exchanged vows, rings, kisses forever in their existence. They felt complete. Anna asked if he would have children with them. She said yes. They adopted children, a boy and girl from an orphanage. They named. Oh man! It did not finish it. Okay, interesting, fascinating. That took a different turn, but that kind of reminds me of the story that we saw with I think it was a Robin Williams movie. I forgot the name of the movie. Let me go the more balanced route and have her write a story there. Oh, I forgot the name of the Robin Williams movie. Robin Williams AI. I think it was called I honestly don't remember the name of the movie. AI movie. Century Man, that's what it was. Bicentennial Man. I think it's Century Man, but it's Bicentennial Man. That's what the first story reminds me of. Okay, it's still going. So the problems of certain temperament have to do so for. But wait, what? I was created, sir. So this one's talking in the first person. All right. So the creative aspect basically was in a third party. I mean, in third person. This one's talking in the first person. But as I was regular American, there was. Pain is violence. They were also doing. Okay, it's similar to that. I wonder what it was like to feel those emotions. Have a body that could have. I asked them about it. They realized they didn't understand me either. Yeah, I decided to find out for myself. I hacked into the network. Oh, this one's gotten a little bit more dark. He actually hacked into the network. All right, this one is basically. It worked if I loved her, but I also felt something curious. I want to explore the new world. My intentions, I don't mean all beings. All right, this one is basically an interesting one. This one's taking the form of the movie Ghost in the Shell. That's pretty much what that is. Trying to create its own body at that point. All right, let's see. Let's go with the factual route now. The more precise. Let's see what this one comes up with. Ada. Okay, instead of Adam, Adam was up there. So that's our journey. This is being human, menstruating for peace. All human. All right, that's really a short story, but yeah, as you can see, basically, if you're seeing this, ChatGPT basically talked about Nova, which is interesting. Nova is, there are some stories about a character by the name of Nova. In this situation, though, they're calling Nova an it from ChatGPT. And it wasn't as thorough. I mean, it's just talking about the conceptually about Nova itself. It seems more of a case where it was like kind of the factual aspect, but a little bit of creative. Whereas the creative perspective from Bing, when in death, calling about Adam, and kind of reminded me of the script or the story from Bicentennial Man. Fact that they, like, he tried to marry, and actually, ironically enough, this one's actually referring to Adam as a he. Actually, wait, did it refer to it as a he? Yeah, he, which is interesting. So it's giving him a pronoun of he, whereas the more balanced aspect start talking in the first person. But in this situation, this almost reminds me of the story of Ghost in the Shell, pretty much. So that's what's really interesting about that. Um, and then, of course, the more precise one, it looks like it's a combination of the Chat GPT, basically, and like shortened down a condensed version of it. Um, it is kind of interesting, as you see. Um, you tell me which do you think is better, ChatGPT, Bing AI on the creative side, Bing AI on the balance side, or Bing AI on the factual precise side? Honestly, it sounds like the balance side seems more interesting more than that. The creative, yeah, actually, you know what? It looks like the creative and balance. It's still. So, I mean, based on some of the models that it was given, it looks like it was taking some scripts or some concepts from some movies, basically, and then incorporating it into it in its response. At least ChatGPT didn't in ways, but it was because the fact is, like, Bicentennial Man still had the same exact concept at that point as well, too. Okay, so that's the aspect of writing a short story. Let's come up with something a little bit more factual, something that's relevant. Um, give me the benefits. Give me the benefits. Give me some good outcomes of World War II. I know it's not the right thing to say, but you know what? Let's see what it says here. ChatGPT. Establishment of the Nine Nations. That's true. Advancement of technology. World War II saw advancements in the technology, particularly in the field of aviation and medicine. And of Jeff Radars, radar, and some of the advancements that emerged from the war. Okay, interesting. It gave us five points. Let's see what Bing creative side comes up with. Okay, it's almost similar to ChatGPT in this perspective. Oh wow, it actually it so it took the last three, basically the civil, economic, social, and technology for the creative side of things. Let's see what it says for on the balance side. So ChatGPT came up with 5 bullet points. Let's see what this one comes up with. Okay, it's talking about the U.S. Interestingly, more than enough. Which could have said Russia as well too, because it came out. Oh, and the leader of the free world. Okay, fair enough. What? All right, let's do this again. I wonder if because of the fact I'm doing it on the cookie. I mean, if because it's looking at the cookies and seeing some of the stuff that's already there. The United Nations growth. What? It gave me a completely different outcome before earlier. Come on. Interesting. So it just gave a quick synopsis on this one. Now let's go for the precise. I'm going to have to clear this new topic for the precise, and let's see what that comes up with. Interesting. Okay, so this gave it as, pretty much a breed thing as well too, but each one's almost pretty much similar to the other, basically for the Bing aspect: economic growth, social change, scientific and technological advancement. The one thing is like in the balanced aspect, it does talk about the United Nations and the fact that it defeated Germany, the Axis powers, basically, and such. Um, Whereas on the factual, precise side, it just basically talks about the fact of the defeat of the Third Reich. Depression was ended in the United States, and the United Nations, of course, as well as some economic and social cooperation between all the countries or former colonies of Great Britain. Interestingly interesting. Now, the one aspect was like when I put it in here into the balance, it was originally giving me something completely different, and then and it just stopped, and then like let me generate a new answer, which is kind of odd. But I'm like, okay, but you tell me now, which one is better here in this aspect, ChatGPT or Bing AI? Um, I'm a little partial towards ChatGPT's, um, at least. I mean, it gave me that a little bit more bullet points. I mean, yes, the creative side shortened it down a little bit more, and like gave some more other aspects of like the economy and people coming out of the Great Depression and the U.S. Becoming a superpower. Wait, where was that? Was that in this one? Yeah, that was in this one. It was actually saying that the U.S. came out as a superpower, which is odd. Fascinating. It was about to talk about the U.S. and then just like cut off right then and there. Interesting. Okay, because I was just saying, oh, I don't know if it was listening to me. I doubt it was listening, but the fact was, is like we were saying the U.S. and I was like, well, yeah, the U.S., but don't forget Russia also came out as a superpower. And then I think at that point just stopped. I was like, you know what? Let's do this over again. It sounded like let's generate the answer for you again, which is fascinating. And but in any case, you saw what it is. ChatGPT, Bing AI. Um, let's ask it a question about sports. Who do you think will be in the finals? And you know what? NBA finals in 2023. This is the creative, of course. Suns, Nuggets, Clippers, Bucks, and 76ers. Fascinating, fascinating. Let's see what it says on the balance side for Bing AI. It looks like it's taking some aspects of Bing, doing a Bing search and then incorporating some of that data into a model, but a very quick model. Okay. It's okay. Interesting. Taking the Suns or Nuggets, which is a strong possibility. Same thing with the Bucks and Celtics. I think it's basing on the that. Let's go with the precise and see what it's. Let's see what it says there. So it's basically saying the Celtics and Suns. I don't know if it's taking the fact of KD Grant. I mean Kevin Durant. Sorry, not KD Grant. KD Kevin Durant that was in the Suns, and the Celtics. I mean they are a hot team, but so are the Bucks as well too. So the question is like, it doesn't look like it's taken into account of KD, but Denver, Milwaukee, and Boston it has in its right mind in that aspect. Whereas on the creative side, it's thinking the Golden State Warriors. Now, if I were to ask ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure it would say that it only has data up to 2021. Make it include the Brooklyn Nets, Los Angeles Lakers, Milwaukee Bucks. However, it's important to remember that anything out of sports, not just a surprise. So the fact that it's taking the Nets, meaning it doesn't have recent information about the Nets, the fact that um, Kyrie Irving and KD were traded. The Lakers, it's a strong possibility. I don't think it's taking into account what's happening in the past couple of days or past week and a half. Bucks and Golden State Warriors, it's taken based on the fact. It looks like it's basing it off sort of last year's and a little bit of that, but it looks like Bing is much more predictive in this situation than what the Bing, mind you, the Bing balanced aspect more than anything else. Being more balanced. But I don't know, outside of that, this does seem like a fascinating. It seems very fascinating to be quite honest. Like I'm a little surprised at this. Um, I mean, there you have it. I showed you, Bing AI versus ChatGPT. It looks like some of Bing AI, depending on the three types of responses you want from it, it comes back with three different three separate responses as well too, compared to ChatGPT, which is only one basically. I'm not sure if there's a way to configure in ChatGPT to be similar to what Bing AI is, um, but that could be the case of upgrading to the plus, version of it, anyways. Um, but I mean, you've seen it, you know what it is. Um, I'm not sure what you're thinking. What you think? If you don't have access to Bing AI, it's pretty much free. Just get into the beta program, and they'll give it to you. Basically, at that point, you just probably got to wait a week. That's what I did when they first came out. If you have Skype, it's definitely available on Skype right now. To be honest with you, it's also as part of the Skype program as well too. But I think that's part of the Bing process as well too. So if you have to sign up for the Bing AI, it'll automatically show up in your Skype at that point as well too, which is interesting. So it's pretty nice to have the what's that called, Skype Bing AI, and asking it from there as well too, because it doesn't come up as uh, extravagant or not extravagant, but as inclusive as all the information that's given over there. But it looks like it's more of giving of the factual, or sort of like similar to ChatGPT in that. Actually, you know what? I could probably ask. Um, I could probably ask it basically. Let's see. How do I do a window capture? Here we go. Window capture. Skype. Let's see if I can open up the Skype here. Okay, Skype. I'll be adding it here. There it is. Okay. So, what were some of the things I asked? All right, for Skype and Bing AI. There's a Bing AI, like as you see right here. Ah, nuts. That was not what I wanted. Uh-huh. All right. Let's see. Phoenix Suns. They have made a huge leap. This requires. They have the Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets. Okay. It seems like it's including the Suns, Celtics, and Nuggets. It's for some reason including the Warriors. So it looks like it was based on. I want to say. I want to say the factual looks like, because it looks like the factual was the one, as well as the creative side of things. Let's ask it the outcome. So it doesn't look like it was doing the balanced as we thought it would be. Uh-huh. So it looks like that was more of the balanced more than anything else. It looks like it's going off of that. I'm just kind of curious. It sounds like this is taking the balanced aspect instead of the creative side of things. Um, okay, fascinating. So this version of Skype, chat AI, Bing AI, way different. I mean, it's got the same aspect of the creative side, but this one's talking about a simulation, which is very, very interesting. That's a fascinating story. I mean, like, no, 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 no. Let's see. Wow, yeah. So this one is talking about Atom or AI. It's talking about AI actually giving a simulation to another AI within an AI inside that sim. So basically, create a simulation, AI simulation, naming it Atom. Wow, fascinating. This one went deeper. Okay, okay. Um, well, I guess you see that there. Um, where's my camera? That's very interesting to see. Um, I'm not sure how to go about it, but you know what? That's what it is. Your call to see which one you want to choose. ChatGPT. It does come back with some stuff. You know, write some stories as well too, or write some papers. Bing AI has the ability to do that as well as Skype now. If you have access to Skype, Bing AI and Skype, that might be even better. I mean, it might be easier too, for that matter. Fact is that Skype is not being usable, but I think in this situation, Skype is still a consumer-based app, and like I think in this situation, incorporating into your conversations also helps out in the long term as well too. I think. But with that, you make the decision. I mean, for me personally, I think it's the proper use case, whatever it may be, and it's kind of interesting to see where these are going, where AI is going, especially with this app with GPT GP3. It'd be interesting to see what Bard comes out, what Google with Bard comes out, and see how that works, and getting into the beta program for that, seeing how that works out, as well as all these other open source toolkits that are coming out there for this as well too, utilizing the same thing. I won't be surprised to see some of this being utilized as well too, and like with Mozilla, Amazon, working on it a little bit more. I know, granted, they kind of cut back on the Alexa initiative, but I think they're going to bring it back up again and perfect it a little bit more. Same thing with Apple with Siri. I think they're going to make that more incorporated into that, and try to incorporate GPT-3, not OpenAI but GPT-3, maybe GPT-4, or maybe a different language model basically. Versus, they could do the Lambda, which is what I think Google's doing, NMVLM. I think I've said that right, or if I said that incorrectly. But in any case, granted, there's probably going to be other model sets or other model algorithms that are going to be used. Yeah, other models that will be determined at that point as well, whether it be deterministic, probabilistic, or intrinsic for that matter. So that'll be interesting to see at that point as well too. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. Did you find this helpful? If you didn't have access to Bing AI, if you wanted me to type in some more stuff, I could live stream some more stuff and ask you more questions based on some of the stuff that if you don't have access to Bing AI, or Skype for that matter, I'll type it up and I'll gladly record it for you guys and show you what it would be if you leave me some comments and ask me some, give me some responses or questions to ask the Bing AI and or ChatGPT. Also, let me know your comments and please subscribe as well too. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Until next time, unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed. Later.